Ah, America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. A land where everyone is subjected to the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But what exactly is it in our country that gives us this much freedom? Well, when our founding fathers first declared independence, they made a thing called the Bill of Rights, which allows us to do things that other countries can't. Like, for example, if you want to talk. If you want to shoot. If you don't want soldiers living in your house, then they don't have to live in your house. See, the Bill of Rights is an amazing thing that not even the president has the power to change, and gives we the people the power over the stronger beings. But what was it that led to the creation of the Bill of Rights, and why did the founding fathers choose these specific amendments? Back in 1787, a little while after George Washington beat the British with his Challenger, and America first declared its independence, you would think that we were finally starting to become comfortable as our own country. Well, not exactly. See, some of the states demanded that the founding fathers write a set of rules that couldn't be broken or changed so that we wouldn't be trapped from our own freedoms. These same freedoms that are basically what make up the American spirit today. The first rule or amendment in this list is really basic, and it's what gives us our freedoms of speech and the rights to gather and protest. But thanks to this rule, you pretty much have the ability to go online and say almost anything you want, or maybe rant to your mom at like 12 in the morning just to annoy her. Or if there's something that you don't like, you're allowed to state that without being shut down. Another one of the famous amendments is the right to bear arms, which states that everyone is allowed to own their own gun. Now, at the time, this seemed like a pretty good idea because the country was still relatively new and the army was small, and this gave every individual the right to protect their own selves. Nowadays, not so much, since they pose more of a danger than a protection to us, thanks to some people. Cameron, back to you.
I trust my barber.
Thank you, Jose. The third amendment is that no soldier can enter a home without consent of the owner. This means that if a soldier comes to your home, you don't have to accept them. You can leave them stranded. Speaking of no consent, the Fourth Amendment states that you are not liable under any seizures and set requirements for issuing warrants. This means that cops cannot go through your property without probable cause and a warrant.
The Fifth Amendment. This amendment provides three protections for people accused of crimes. First one is the right to a grand jury. Serious criminal charges should be inspected first by grand jury if there is enough evidence to bring criminal charges against a defendant. This right is important because the accused person may not be found guilty without enough evidence. For example, a person was accused of kidnapping kids and taking them into a white van. The grand jury will first confirm if the accusation is true before bringing criminal charges to this person. After inspecting, no enough evidence was shown because that person never leaves his or her home because this person is a social media manager and only orders food.
Hello? You order Chinese food?
Because of that, the person was released thanks to the grand jury for inspecting it first. Second one is the right for double jeopardy protection. A person cannot be tried twice for the same offense. This right is important because this avoids the government to use its resources and keep harassing the accused person. For example, a person was accused by two persons for stealing their own cars. That accused person should not be prosecuted twice if that person is found not guilty. Now, the third one is the right of protection against self-incrimination. This right prevents the person to be involved in a crime. For example, the teacher knows that her student is abusive and hurts other students in school. She is allowed not to say it. Next up is the Sixth Amendment. This amendment protects the rights of the accused in criminal harassing. One of the rights is the right to a speedy trial. This right does not allow defendant from being locked in custody for a long time before trial. Like, if I'm accused, I won't go to jail first, but I would rather be brought to trial first in a timely manner where I could use evidence to defend myself to make sure justice is served. So basically, this right allows you to not be in jail when you're accused, and you could defend yourself with evidence in a fair amount of time. Now, the other right the Sixth Amendment provides is the right to impartial jury. This right ensures a fair and reliable verdict is reached in criminal case. Like when you're accused, you are able to go to impartial jury where all of the jury members are unbiased and can handle down a decision on the issue based on the evidence found and no other factors.
Oh, pimp down, pimp in disgrace. Oh my God, pimp down, pimp in disgrace. I need $150 million.
The Seventh Amendment protects the right of citizens to have a jury trial in federal court with civil cases where the claim exceeds a certain dollar value. This means if something happened to you, such as a car crash, you would have a right to a jury, and they will decide if you are guilty and by how much.
The Eighth Amendment means the court cannot give you a bail more serious than the crime you committed. This means that if you get arrested for theft, then it's not right for them to set your bail at $500,000. This amendment also applies to fines and cruel and unusual punishments. Cruel and unusual punishments mean consequences that don't fit the crime. The courts cannot sentence you to death for grand theft auto. They also can't have you tortured for information. The Ninth Amendment is a constitutional safety net set so that our rights that are not specified in the Constitution are still protected. These rights include marriage, privacy, contraception, travel, procreation, and custody of one's child. The 10th Amendment says that the federal government only has the powers given to them in the Constitution. If it is not listed, then it belongs to the states or the people.
Yo, yo, yo!
In conclusion, the Bill of Rights was made to guarantee protection to our freedom of speech, religion, and to have fair trials. It keeps all powers to the people or the states and not assigned to the federal government. Without the Bill of Rights, there's no freedom for people and justice would not be served.